We at Young Indians are delighted to invite you to the grand finale of the 4th edition of the pitch. To tell us more about the event and what lies ahead, would like to invite Mr. Shanmugam, CEO of Base India, a prefab construction company, also serving as the YI Entrepreneurship Chair this year. We'd like to invite Mr. Shanmugam to please address us.
Good morning to our esteemed judges and speakers, my fellow Young Indians, our event partners from Startup Tea and Erode Regional Hub, representatives from our ecosystem partners, our super energetic Yuva students, and all our trailblazing contestants. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the Pitch 2023. Let me begin by saying that Coimbatore Vizha is truly a celebration of the city of Coimbatore. It is a celebration of people coming from all different walks of life together to truly celebrate our city. With over 150 plus events spanning across the duration of the villa, the pitch is one of the most rewarding events for the villa, and I don't mean rewarding just in monetary terms. We are very proud to say that we are in the 15th year of Coimbatore Villa and the 4th year of the pitch. We can proudly say that this year, pitch has been the biggest so far as yet, and we have had about 200 plus registrations, and the entries have come in from across more than 3 continents. So the competition has been very fierce this year, and if the contestants here, if you've made it today, please give yourselves a round of applause. You're definitely the best of the best. We, the pitch team, recognize that mentorship is equally as important to funding for a startup. Before we hear from our speakers, let me give you a brief of why we envision the pitch. One of the core pillars of any nation to become a world leader is entrepreneurship. On one side, we are presented with a rosy picture that India is the fastest growing economy and we are flourishing as a nation. But my question is there anything that is stopping us from growing any faster? A possible answer to this is most of the youth today are content working for somebody else, a safe, secure 9-to-5 job. It's like the saying goes, if you don't build your dream, somebody else is going to hire you to help build theirs. Most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. It's because they aim too low and hit. We as entrepreneurs always tend to underestimate ourselves, and there's nothing holding us back except our own fears. But little do they know that their journey begins only now. With great power comes great responsibility. With great funding comes greater responsibility. So pitch passionately, use your funds resourcefully, and let the rewards flow for the society and for the funders. I'd like to end by saying, everyone can tell you, and I can safely say that all the 6 entrepreneurs sitting here today with us have definitely seen the reward. So, and sooner rather than later, we hope that the contestants too will be filling up these same seats, and you will be passing on your pearls of wisdom to the young crowd. So let the pitching begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanmugam, for setting the course of this event as we move forward. As we embark on this event of celebrating the journey of entrepreneurship, we would like to now invite our keynote speaker, Ms. Swati Rohit. Please welcome Ms. Swati. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank, I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for Young Indians. And a big thank you to Young Indians for giving me the opportunity to. And the second thing I want to do is congratulate Young Indians on this amazing initiative. I think it was started during Vaishnavi's year. So, and congratulations on this, and wish you many, many more years of success building on what they started. And I think the other day when Shanmugam and I came to my office, they looked at me and they were giving me an update on how it was going, the pitch contest, what were they doing this year, what have they done in the past. And and then they said, you know what, we want you to come and speak about your journey, right? And how you started. So to that I actually, started just smiled at them and said that, in my life, I'm 44 years old, right? So when I started in the startup ecosystem, so people normally look at women and say, oh, it's really easy. You should be able to raise capital really fast, and you have a great idea, and you have so many years of experience. So to be honest, I started off with 3 big disadvantages. My first disadvantage was that I was a woman. I know that people sit here and a lot gets spoken about, women entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship, and how they're doing fabulously well. How many examples can you think of? Of course, you can think of Falguni Nair, of Nykaa, but she's an anomaly, right? What percentage of women actually have this opportunity to be able to build businesses? And look at the percentages, right? Second thing is, we're constantly always in a world of men. I've pitched to, say, 90 VC firms, right? How many women have I come across sitting across the table from me? 3 people. So decisions, I'm not saying that, so when you actually sit across and pitch to a group of men, right? They come with common misconceptions already, and society has framed this, not blaming anyone for it, but that's how the reality of the situation is. And the second disadvantage actually was that I came from a family who had money, right? I came from a wealthy family who run large-sized businesses or medium-sized businesses, which are recognizable in the ecosystem. So the number 2 question always to me was, well, your family is there, why do you need money? Why do you need to raise capital, right? Why do they not trust what you're building? So I had to constantly defend myself, because your dream is not the family's dream, right? And does not have to be. Did they believe in me? Truth is no, because they, perceived that what I was going out to do, what did I leave to build? I left to build a platform in kids' health. I have to be honest and say kids' health is not the most sexiest thing in healthcare, right? It's the least looked at whole of the entire pie, right? If you talk about kids' health, it will be a small, not even a line in that whole graph that you see, a graph. So when they looked at it and they said, oh, why don't you do women's health? Why don't you do all of this? But my passion was children's health, and if you ask me who I was, and today if anyone asks me, and this whole elevator pitch thing, I start with saying I'm a kids health activist. Why? Because I believe that we have a chance with our children. When I go out there, talk about health to any parent, right? They look at me and say, come on, we all grew up fine. Look at us, we ate everything, we drank and we ate so much sugar, and we're fine. So I look and, I constantly am very shocked when they say this, because the same person next minute will be talking about how, everybody has cancer, and, their uncle has diabetes, they have diabetes, their father has diabetes. So I'm like, so you don't think all of this is because of poor choices, you just think that it's because, just magically happened to you. Cancer magically happens to us. It doesn't, right? It's not it is a fact. It's like your heart is beating, right? That's a fact. So is the bad decisions, food decisions, health decisions we make. It's a fact. It's not something that I pulled out of the air to convince somebody that children's health should be focused on, right? So the second thing was that, and the third disadvantage I actually came was my age and the fact that I was a mother. Truth, but a lot of times if you're in kids' health, people assume because you're a mother, you'd have this understanding, people would understand that. But age does play a factor. Why? Because they don't believe that at 40 or 50, right? I'm 44 today, and they don't believe that you have the energy that a 20-year-old. Granted, I might not have the energy, but I come with a lot more to the table. That took a lot of convincing as well. So just to give you a nutshell, but what I really came to talk to you guys today here about is the amazing opportunity to really create something, right? We all go out there and start a business. Why? It's not because we are individualistic and we didn't like what we saw. We wanted to change something that we saw that we couldn't live with, right? And I fundamentally believe that that's why we all go out and start businesses. Sure, there'll be 1% who goes out there and say, you know what, look at startups, they're making a lot of money, I want to make money. Good for you, good on you. That's also a reason that you should be doing this, but it won't take you very far, right? You really, this journey, it's not a sprint. It's not like saying you raise Series A, Series B and you're done, right? But if you really want to build a credible organization, not a small business, right? You have to be ready for the marathon. And what do you really need to equip yourself for this marathon? Number one, your team really matters, and don't take this co-founder thing lightly. I have my co-founder sitting here, and I'm very proud that we really do believe in the same things, and it's worked for me. This was not the case. I also had a couple of experiences with not so great co-founders, right? So really pay attention to the quality of your team. One thing if I've learned from, I have been exposed a lot to the ecosystem in Bangalore, the first generation of unicorn founders. And consistently, one thing I found that all of them, had believed in and, did was the quality of their team was, they never compromised on that, right? So I say, even if you don't have much money, spend it on one or two resources rather than hire hundreds of, average resources. And the second thing that I would really focus on is, don't try to do everything yourself, right? We always think that we're Superman and founders really have to do everything, know everything. No, just go out there and ask for help. There are some things you should be doing, but your time is better spent doing those important things that move the needle for your business, right? And third thing is, I always believe in this golden circle rule, right? The what, the how, and the why. A lot of us can answer what are you doing or what are you building, right? Immediately you'll be like, listen, I'm building, the next Nike for men or something like that, right? And then you can always answer the question, how are you going to do it? And you have that plan right in your head. But if I asked a lot of people why, right? They struggle with that answer. Why do you think you need a Nike for men, right? They'll beat all over the bush, but be very firm on your value proposition. What are you really offering out of this business that you're building, right? That's number one. And the second thing that I look at is the size of the market. It really does matter when you're going out there and, it's all great to find a niche product, but if only like 20 people are going to use it or 3,000 people in the world are going to use it, it really will not be a large enough business that will excite, venture or anybody else to fund you, right? Except for yourself. And the third thing is, a lot gets said about venture funding, right? All of you guys are going to go out there because there are sources to, non-traditional sources like loans. You can do, go to accelerators. You always have grants that you look for, and that's all a great step, right? But eventually, if you want to build a really large size firm, of course you can bootstrap and and have burn marks on your body, literally. I'm proof of that. So it's a hard thing to do. It's not for everyone bootstrapping. But let me say that if you're going out there and raising capital, number one thing is don't go and apply to hundreds of venture capital funds, right? For every venture capital fund they're sector specific. Most of them are. They'll have 5 sectors that they focus on. Say one focuses on agri-tech, another one on direct to consumer products. So they'll have 2 or 3, and they would have formed their thesis on it. So if my fund say is only focusing on agri-tech and health tech, and you're somebody who is building aerospace initiative, right? Last but not least, perseverance. It is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, right? Building this startup. Every day is challenging, but you've got to really love what you're doing to be able to get up and smile and get excited through the worst of your days, because that's what's going to carry you, and not, it's very easy to say, what, I give up, put your hands up. I've had that moment many times in this journey, and what's really kept it together for me is my self-belief, right? And of course the unfailing, like this thing of my support of my family. I could not have been here without them and my co-founders. So thank you so much for having me. I hope you learned something out of my journey and my experience, and please reach out. Happy to help in this ecosystem at any point, either with introductions to PCs, if it's just looking at your tech. Happy to help you in this role. Thank you.